Lex, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So you're in LA?
I'm down in San Diego right now.
Okay. I feel like you, more than most people, are knowledgeable and equipped to adapt. Do you feel like that's come in handy and that's been a gift throughout this year?
Yeah, I think so. I lost my sight when I was 8 years old, and so it was definitely a challenging time. And then you fast forward to 2020, everything that's going on right now,
Yeah.
with the pandemic and just just the injustices surrounding race and just people having to work from home and kids having to go to school from home, virtual, and now they're having to go back to school. But
Yeah.
that looks differently. There's so many different things that we're trying to navigate and tackle at this particular time. And I feel like for sure, it definitely is. I think that what the world is experiencing right now is something that I experienced mainly when I was as a kid growing up, but I still experience a lot of it to this day because the world that I live in isn't as accessible as it is for the average person in a
Mhm.
non-pandemic type year. Like there's always something as a person with a disability. There's always something that that can be changed and something that can be improved. It's all about how society is organized and how society is set up.
Huh.
That's what really disables me and a lot of my other friends and other Americans with the disability. It's all about how things are set up. So
Wow.
it's just a constant conversation and constant battle with like how can we improve, how can we make systems better.
At 8, you went blind. And can you just briefly fill us in on what that was like and how that happened and what your life looked like in the immediate years afterwards?
Yeah, it was literally for those first 8 years I was able to see, and I came home from school one particular day, went through my normal routine. That night, I started noticing that I was losing my sight. Randomly started things were looking blurry and faint. And it was hard to focus on. It was just hard to focus. And my mom was thinking that maybe I had just gotten something in my eyes from playing outside that day.
Hmm.
But the next day we went to the doctor. After an examination, they said I had retina detachments. So that led to a string of 10 operations that I had to try to fix the issue. They were all unsuccessful. And after the 10th one that year, the doctor said that there was nothing else they could do to help my sight. And they said that I would probably become blind. So from there, it was go home, go through your normal routine, go to sleep at night, wake up the next morning, you see a little less than what you do the day before until one day you wake up and you're not able to
See it
see
all.
anything.
Wow.
That's crazy. I mean, and
What
for
was
that,
that window of time? Was that, within a few days or was that over the course of a year?
over a few months.
Over a
Yeah,
few
over a few
months.
months. So it's a gradual, like just slow process. So you're able to see the television clearly one day, and the next day it starts to fade. The next day it fades even more. The next day it fades even more. And along with that, the images of my mom, neighborhood, friends, school, everything that you're totally used to seeing is just
Yeah.
slowly, goes to fades to nothing. And
Huh.
yeah, I mean it was definitely it was challenging, and I certainly had to deal with a lot of at that time self-esteem, a lot of emotions and feelings that are running through your body, and you're now trying to figure out how to successfully transition from once being able to see to now not being able to see. You're
Wow.
trying to figure out how to interact with your friends and people, and trying to figure out life. How are you going to something as simple as just walk around, like walk on a sidewalk and get from your apartment to the school bus, or to get from classroom to classroom, classroom to the cafeteria, cafeteria to the gym. And you're in this world where it's just hard to really explain what's going on to other kids. And I was never really the one that got bullied Of
Yeah.
course, people probably said some hurtful things, but for the most part, it was just really just trying to. I think everybody was trying to learn and figure out. I was trying to figure out how I was going to navigate through the world, and then I had my friends and other people trying to learn. Well, how can we best help him?
Um,
How can we really how can we help him? But my mom has been she's kind of been the backbone in the situation, this whole equation, because she was the one that said, listen, you're not going to be able to see anything, but you'll still be able to go out into the world and do awesome things. So
yeah.
from there, it was, she devoted all her effort and energy into wanting me to be independent and wanting me to be able to live on my own and to just go into society and contribute like the next person. So she is like a no excuses type person, expected me to do chores. She expected me to get good grades in school. She wanted me to graduate from high school, from college, to eventually get a job, et cetera, et cetera. And somewhere along the way, it kind of just spiraled into sport. But I think that everything that she expected from me at an early age helped me to build my confidence and really shifted my self image, how I viewed myself, and
Yeah.
helped boost my self esteem to this point where now I felt like I could go out there and confidently put one foot in front of the other and really figure out myself, figure out the world, and figure out my place within
Yeah.
society and the world.
Were you just always athletic, Lex? When you were growing up, did you notice that you were drawn to sports and you were better than the other kids?
Yeah, well, prior to me losing my sight, I played rec league baseball, and then I wasn't swimming competitively, but I had been through swimming lessons, and I could swim and jump off the diving board and do the
Wow.
cannonballs and all that other stuff.
At 8 years old, you're
At,
already doing
at
all
8 years
that?
old, yeah, 8 years old.
Okay. I just need to
Uh,
establish this because I have two boys who are 8 and 11 now, and they don't show any signs of these athletic gifts. And so I think I
uh,
need to write out of my mind that they are not going to become Paralympic, Olympian quality caliber
oh,
athletes.
they might make that shift. You never know. Um, and then after I lost my sight, it was a matter of, number one, trying to successfully make that transition, and then
Mhm.
after that, it was me being introduced to a lot of the things that I used to do. Of course, I didn't go back to I didn't go back to rec league baseball, but
Right.
I was able to gain the confidence to run around outside, knowing that I had open space to my left, right, front, and back.
Yeah.
It was well, I didn't mention my mom's side of the family is the athletic side. So
Okay.
my mom played softball and basketball, and my aunts and uncles and grandmother, they all played everything under the sun. So that's where the athletic gene comes from.
Okay.
And eventually, once I got really comfortable, my mom found adaptive sports and recreation and started introducing me to that, and again, that helped as well with the just that confidence piece. And once I got into high school, that's when I was really introduced to Paralympic sport and found out about track and field. And from there, it's been on and popping.
Yeah. What about track and field spoke to you?
I think just that feeling of freedom, and
Huh.
that, like, when you discover something in life that you feel like you're good in and you can have some success in, you're drawn to it. And so I was drawn to that for a number of reasons. It was, I was pretty fast, I can jump far. And I just my teacher kind of painted this image, this vision for me about potentially traveling the world,
Yeah.
winning medals and breaking records and things like that. And that becomes a magnet of
Yeah.
sorts. You think about that and you're drawn to it. And I think ultimately at the end of the day, long jump became something for me uh where it's like people's expectations and what they feel I should and should not do and what they feel I can and cannot do. That's like the equivalent of gravity. And so when I'm running and I take flight and I'm in the air flying, it's like that gravitational pull that is people's viewpoint of
Yeah.
me. It's like it doesn't pull me down. Like that is the one time that I'm proving to them like I'm defying gravity. I
Yeah.
am totally just crushing, whatever people think and what they feel, people who are blind or people who have a disability, whatever they may think of us, it just is totally wrong and it don't matter.
I think we fence ourselves in with so many perceptions of what is possible or not in our lives. And,
Yeah.
if we don't have the ability if we don't have eyesight, then we think that the world is limited in a certain capacity. Or
Mm.
if we come from a certain background, or if we don't have the right amount of money or whatever it is, like we see all these as limitations. But what you're able to show us is that a lot of those are social constructs. A lot of those are not necessarily true, or
Yeah.
proven science. Like we can actually break a lot of these rules, and they're man-made rules that are completely false. Are you planning on participating in the 2028 LA Games?
You know what? Man, we're gonna see. We're gonna
Yeah,
see. I literally I've
yeah,
been doing it for a long time. I'm going for Tokyo next year and I'll probably do Paris.
yeah,
Um but in 2028, man, I'll be 42,
yeah,
43.
yeah.
So I mean, is it possible? Yeah, it's possible. It'll be pushing it, but that will be, I will say that would be the perfect way
To
to end
end,
out
right? Bring
a
it
career.
home.
To be at home, to be the in front of Team USA.
I'm gonna just put it out into the universe right now that you're gonna do it,
All
because
right.
I want to see you compete here in LA. I just think it would be
Yeah.
cool.
It'd be like a hashtag final flight
Yeah,
type deal. Yeah.
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 One thing that's been really cool about working with LA28 and in preparation for the 2028 Olympics, and kind of going to your point about how London was approaching it all, is that LA28 really makes it seem like the Olympic Games and Paralympics are one and the same. Like
Yeah.
in everything that they presented to me, in every way that I've gone about designing my letter, and from A to Z, this entire process, it's never been the Olympic Games. It's the Olympic and Paralympic Games.
Yeah.
It's,
Nah, I totally
one word now,
yeah,
do
totally agree with
you feel
that.
the same? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, totally. I mean, even like, I mean, all of the conversations that we have and working with everyone from Janet to just everybody, um, is been really phenomenal and definitely feel like you're included and a part of the fabric of LA
Yeah.
2028. And so I feel like it's going to be, from the Paralympic side, I think that it'll be a really great opportunity for LA 2028 to really explode the Paralympic movement within
Yeah.
the United States. So it'll be exciting to see how it all unravels.
What are some of the things that you want the world to know about Paralympics and to change their mind about?
I think at the end of the day, it's like I don't want them to look at it as, these athletes are, quote unquote, like, less than or incapable or,
Mhm.
um, you know, like a rung below the Olympians and professional athletes. Literally, you have some of the most physically gifted, amazing human beings from around the world who are doing absolutely incredible feats from an
Yeah.
athletic standpoint. And then outside of that, just, and when they take that suit off, I mean, they're doing the same things that the next person would do. They have families, they're holding down jobs, they are, they're just doing great things.
Yeah.
And so I think that at the end of the day, I think I want people to realize that and know that, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just, we're human beings who just so happen to be physically gifted in different sports and different events. Like it's really dope to see someone, you know, an amputee who can run sub 11 in
Mm.
the 100 meters. It's
Yeah.
just, you know, sitting volleyball to goalball to swimming and cycling. There's so many different amazing athletes who are just putting up these top notch performances. So,
Yeah.
um, you know, I don't want people to look at it any differently. It's just you know, we're just out here doing what we do.
Yeah, I actually, in a weird way, I actually disagree. I do look at
You
it
know,
differently in the sense that you were saying earlier how you don't want it to be considered, the Paralympics to be considered a rung below the Olympics. I actually look at it as a rung above. I think it's like a more advanced, more evolved, innovative sport or approach to these games than just normal Olympics. For example, in what you do with the long jump, and from what I can see, from what I'm like trying to figure out is happening, is you're listening to a click or a beep that is measuring your it's setting your timing. Is that what's happening? To let you
I
know.
have a yeah, I have an actual guide who's standing there, so he's clapping and yelling.
The Olympian long jumper is just built to do the long jump. But you do the exact same thing, except let's do it blindfolded or with your eyes closed. And now you're going to do it by listening as well. Like that's just added, complexities to an already difficult sport. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
that's why I think it's advanced. It's not a rung below, it's a rung above.
yeah. I mean, I get that, but I mean, it's all, you know. It's like we all have something at the
Yeah.
end of the day. Like, yeah, that was a challenge that I had to get through when it comes to, you know, blindness. And yeah, I would love to look at it like, can I sit here and totally say 100%? Like, I don't feel like what I do is cool and dope. I mean, I'd be lying.
Yeah.
Um, but at the same time as well, it's just like, um, you know, people tag me for, they're like, oh my gosh, you tied your shoes today, or you know, you were able to eat your food today. Um, and, and so it's just like, nah, man, I'm just living my life. And sports is an aspect of it that, you know, it's pretty cool and it's awesome.
Yeah.
But, you know, again, when I'm not on the track, I'm just living life like
Well,
Bobby.
when you have a phrase that you use that there's no need for sight when you have vision. Can
Yeah.
you touch a little bit more on that and what that means to you?
Yeah. So at the end of the day, when I had lost my sight, the thing that really bridged the gap for me was knowing that everything that has been created and everything that will be created, it always starts with a vision. You see it within yourself, you see it within
Mm.
other people before it actually becomes reality. And so it's not the sight that is the determining factor and whether or not we succeed. It is our ability to see more than what is in front of our eyes, and then to be able to make the necessary plans to bring that into fruition. And like the beauty of a vision is, if you can see it and you know, you tap into it, you believe it, um it can totally become reality. I think about long jump is something that I'm competing in, something that I've literally never seen anyone long jump in my entire life, but it is because of, you know, myself, my mom, and so many different people, my guide, my coaches, and now nutritionists and sports psychs and strength and conditioning coaches. We all are able to see this this huge vision
Yeah.
that is, you know, going to Tokyo right now and winning gold. But I think even more than that, just really trying to go as far as you can in life. And I think that's like the beauty of, you know, I think that's another beautiful thing in being able to work with LA 2028 so much. Like, I've been in Southern California now for like the past, I guess, like 12 years or so. And that feeling that I get when I run and jump through the air, that's a feeling that I get when I'm navigating the streets of Southern California, San Diego, and LA. It's almost like, you know, if you can see it within your mind, then you can get out there and make it happen. You're not bound to any type of restrictions, any barriers, none of that. If it's really something that you want, you have the means to make it happen here.
What would it mean for you to win gold next year?
Oh, it would mean a lot. That's the only box that I haven't checked yet.
Yeah.
Your world record, world championship golds, and golds at all of the competitions except for the Paralympic Games. So just going to use these next 365 days, now probably a little less, and do what I need to do
Yeah.
so that we can get out there and get on that top step on the podium.
Last question. I should ask you about, I'm assuming that you designed an A for
Yeah.
LA28. Can you describe it and what your thought process was around it?
Yeah, the thought process around mine was literally like, I kind of touched on it a little earlier. When you're in LA, it is a like a blank slate of
Yeah.
sorts. So you think about when I had lost my sight and now I have, you know, no capacity to see with my eyes. And it was challenging in the beginning, but then after a while you realize that it's your opportunity to create the world that you want to see. You have this blank sheet of paper, this blank uh like easel, if you will, and nobody's directing your hand on where to move the paintbrush or the, you know, the pencil, whatever you're using to draw. You're literally creating what you want to see. And so that's the same feeling that I get in in LA and Southern California. You literally can design the life and world that you want to see. No boundaries, no restrictions, no gravitational pull. It doesn't matter what anyone says. If you really are about it and you believe it, whatever it is that you see, you can turn that into reality.
Wow. Thank you so much, Lex. This was really, really hopeful and positive conversation. For me, selfishly, much needed.
Oh no,
You
I
know,
appreciate it.
been a rough year for everyone, and it's rare to find stories like this now, and rare to find people like you who see this side of life. And it's just like, it's really an honor, man. Like, thank you for everything that you do and everything that you said today.
Nah, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.